We could have a Zoom dance party.
Do we have guests on? I can't even see. Who's on?
We'll give it just a minute, guys, and then we'll get started. Come here, you want to say hi? Come here, buddy, come. No.
It's like 100 and some days till conference, I think.
Oh, thank goodness. I need more conference in my life. Well, yeah. I think we'll get started. Hopefully my dog doesn't bother us too much. But for any of you that don't know me, my name is Erin Dickeyson. I just want to take a quick breath just from this day. Everyone do that. Yeah. So if you had a rough day, hopefully you can just join in tonight and have a little fun with us and learn some things that you didn't know or that you were curious about. So I partnered with the Juice Plus company 3 years ago. And before I tell you why I decided to say yes, I just want to tell you how incredible this company has been to me and is in general. And so our company is a whole food nutrition company. They found a way to put the nutrients from 30 different fruits and vegetables in capsule form. And they don't stop there. They go and they share this with families, with businesses, with schools, and their whole motive is to get more whole food nutrition into people's bodies. And so it's been incredible to see this in the people that I know that take the product, because I know kids that have tics, that their tics have lessened. I know another little girl, I've nannied her for so long. She has epilepsy, and ever since taking Juice Plus, her scans have been completely normal. And so obviously this is just their story, but it's just incredible what whole food nutrition can do for our bodies. And so the reason why I decided to say yes to this company, I know it sounds so incredible already, but it was because I was looking for a change of some sort. I was like, I need something different. I wasn't enjoying the job that I was in. I was working in foster care at the time, working endless hours, never really being thanked or said, you're doing a good job, which I didn't need, but it was so difficult to work in that environment. And I did it because I wanted to change the world. I wanted to change something and do good for the world. And I just didn't see that happening. And so I was presented with this opportunity, and I first thought to myself, the future. What do I want in the future? And I was like, I don't want what I have right now. And so in order to get to a different life, I need to change something that I'm doing right now. And so now I am a bar, spin, Pilates, and HIIT instructor, basically teaching everything under the sun. But this is not who I was. Like I said, I worked in foster care. I had no background in fitness or nutrition. I'm not a nutritionist by any means. I just have a heart to serve other people, and I also have a heart to live a very fulfilling life. My friend asked me a couple weeks ago, I took a trip to Japan, and she said, what do you want to be remembered for? And I said, I just want to be remembered for living, for truly living my life. And that's what this company can do for me. And so it's just been an absolute honor to be partnered alongside them for the past 3 years and kind of build it into what I want. In the beginning, it was just a part-time income, and it's built into a big solid chunk of my income. I obviously still teach classes, but I choose to do that. And so I have a couple friends that will be sharing their stories as well, and they're all a little bit different. And we've kind of centered around the theme of writing your own story. And Peter will end up closing us out on this at the end, but it's just been so powerful. Sorry. but it's just been so powerful for me to take over my life and decide what I want to write for my story and how I want this story to unfold, and not just let my bosses and my parents dictate that for me. Sorry for stealing your words, Peter, but I know you'll close us out on it. So I'm going to pass this over to Shelly, and she's going to share her story for you.
That's so funny. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here and to participate. And please excuse noise because I'm in the Upper West Side of Manhattan and my windows are open because it's summer. So I don't know, I think my son was about your age, Erin, and he asked me, how do you know what you want to be when you grow up? And I was kind of my usual snarky self, and I said, I don't know, I'll let you know when I grow up. The thing is that I didn't really think about it. I was very fortunate. I have an interesting background. I was trained as a teacher. I'm a mom. Now I'm a grandmom. I couldn't find a teaching job after my kids were back in school and I was divorced. I needed a job. I needed a career. I ended up going to law school because I didn't get into the electricians union in time. That's a story for another day. But I became a lawyer and I loved it and I had a practice and I enjoyed that. And then I taught law and I enjoyed that. And then I went into politics and I enjoyed that. But I never gave much thought to the future. I was raised to think that you go to school, you get jobs, you have a 401k, and you retire to Florida and bob around on a noodle. That's life. Well, that isn't reality, because the reality is that life happens. And 401ks aren't forever, jobs aren't forever, and health can sometimes be a little bit uncertain. And so in my 50s, after being very healthy, I found that I was kind of losing my edge. I was not keeping up with myself. I had fallen off the healthy living wagon. I thought pastrami was a vegetable, and that wasn't good. There was a family health crisis. I was a caregiver, and caregivers don't always do as well as their patients. And so I really needed to do something to take control of my health. And I found the product and was a very happy consumer. I didn't know there was a business. And a few years later, I was sitting in a job that offered me no time freedom, no location flexibility. So when my kids were having kids, I couldn't go. I was missing memories. And that bothered me. That's not why I worked hard. That's not why I followed all the rules. And I felt stuck. So when I saw an opportunity to not only have control of my health, but have control of my finances, to build something, to have a legacy, to start doing something that was worthwhile like I had been doing before, I took advantage of it. And over the last 10 years, I have been able to impact not only my life, but so many other people. And to be able to participate in this and share my experience and share what I know as a baby boomer, to say, you know what people say is going to be isn't always going to be. And we have to take charge. We have to be in control. We have to be responsible not only for our own future, so we do write that story, but we have to make that information available to other people so that they can write the story they want. And so I am so forever grateful that not only am I healthier than I've ever been, 2 weeks I will be 70. Yeah, I know, right? And so I was just at an event and someone asked me, like, he was having his 80th birthday and he said, "You're just a baby. You're what, 60?" And I'm like, cha-ching, yeah. And that's really, it's about living a life that's so fulfilling that it keeps you young, it keeps you vibrant, it gives you something that, there's a quotation I look at all the time, and it's Robert Frost about being old is when you have nothing to look back upon with pride and nothing to look forward to with hope. This business gives me something to be proud about, proud that I've done, and hopeful that I never have to stop. And I can watch you guys, and we can all live this together, and we can all grow and share and be more and have more and do more. So now, who am I turning it over to? Shelby? Who's Shelby? Go. I'm excited to hear what you have to share.
Hey, thank you. Oh my gosh, I just get so inspired every time I hear people talk. Seriously. Oh,
Rosen.
and I am a mom of 2 little boys, and a wife, and this is my backyard with all the toys, if you can see it. I'm trying to get in a better spot. And so a little bit about me. I started taking my health seriously about 4 years ago. I had no health issues going on. But in short, my very short story is I heard fruit and vegetables weren't going out of style. And to think prevention, the answer is fruit and vegetables. So with that being said, I found these plant powders and it made so much sense to me being bioavailable and getting in my body. And at the same time, I was kind of at a crossroads in my life. Before I had my son, I was pregnant, just looking at different opportunities for work. And I was really debating how I want to spend my time. And I wanted to spend it with my babe, as I'm sure other moms understand. You want to spend it with your kids. And so I was like, how can I find a way to spend my time with my kids? And I already, oh wow, there's fireworks going on in my neighborhood. Anyway, I already understood the concept of plant powders, the concept of whole food nutrition. And so I needed a way to spend time with my baby, and it made sense because I already was passionate about whole food. I understood the concept to share that with people in an authentic, genuine, loving way, just like you would share a good restaurant you went to. It was one of those things, and it was a mission that resonated with my heart. So I really decided to kind of take that step forward. And also, we were debating if I would work part-time or stay home. And staying home, just to be real, would be very financially stressful for our family. And I just know that, I didn't want my husband to be away from us longer than he already was. And I still don't want him even working 40 hours a week. My mission is to bring him home, and that's going to happen one day. So we can do this together. But I saw this as an opportunity to take some financial edge off my husband. And so he didn't have to do a second job like I know a lot of men actually do. So I could do this around my own schedule, spend the time the way I want it. And that's what it's been able to do for me. And I love this because this isn't like a snap of the fingers, get rich quick type of business. This is sustainable and lasting. And I love that it is fit in my crazy busy days with kids and friends and volunteering at other places. And I always thought having kids, I was never around kids, that you could get so much done, and you cannot. I hide in the closet sometimes and get some work done, even if it's like 5 minutes. But I'm just saying, like, it's built something where I can be home, pay for major expenses. We just got to go on a vacation last week to Jamaica, my husband and I. And it was just like extra. We didn't have to stress about it. And I was like, this is not even like, I can't even believe this got to happen this quick after starting 2.5 years ago when I started the business. So just special stuff like that. And I'm all about memories and creating healthy culture and community, like in my tight-knit family of 4. And so being able to invest in our marriage in that way is just, it's really special, and I love it, and I love paying it forward to people. So that's a little bit of my story, and I am going to pass it off to Peter now.
Thank you, Shelby. I appreciate that. And every time I'm asked to talk on this call, I'm humbled, because every time I listen to you guys share, I hear something different. And, typically I come on here and I share from the heart, and I'm going to share from the heart tonight, but usually I spend a few minutes beforehand and I reflect, and I kind of think about, where I am in life. And, your life is a novel. It's a journey and it's a story. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story right now. So I just recently turned 50. I am the proud papa of 4 wonderful children. My oldest is 21. He's 21 going into the Marines next summer as an officer. My oldest daughter just went back to school in Florida. She's taking some classes. My middle son, Tanner, turned 16 today. And he's away at Pennsylvania Ballet for the summer. And my youngest, London, is 12, and I'm also a husband, which I'm super grateful for all of them and all of that. So, I first got involved in the business in 2011. But, if we really don't understand what my story is about, prior to that, several years prior to that, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer, stage 2/stage 3 at the age of 37. Now, as a young man, just, married at that point, I think it was 10 years, 4 kids under 12, I have to tell you, I was scared. And I was scared for a lot of reasons. I wasn't taking my health seriously. And I just thought to myself, oh my God, what if something happened to me? What would my wife and children do? So I knew at that point I had to start taking care of myself. I started eating better, exercising, and I was on my health journey at that point. In life, timing is everything. And, it's a story, it's a novel, it's a journey. So a couple years later, fast forward, very good friend of mine, Beth, reconnected with my wife. They were childhood friends, and she told us about, concentrated fruits and veggies in a capsule. And, it was like eating 30 vine ripened fruits and vegetables every day. I'm like, great, health journey right there, just enhanced it. And then she mentioned that there was actually a business connected to it. And it was, timing, like I said, is everything, because we literally were a week or two away from investing significant amount of money into either a gym franchise or a yogurt shop or something like that. We wanted something extra so we could say more to our kids. Thankfully, I didn't have to invest $500,000, and I was able to come on into this community of people, and it just made total sense to us. Unfortunately, fast forward a few more months, and day before Thanksgiving that year, sorry, I always get choked up when I say this. I got a phone call that my mother died suddenly, and 9 months after that, I lost my dad. And, it was at that point that I realized I didn't have the fortitude or the staying power to stay involved with the business. But the beauty of this business is that you can duck out when life happens and when you need to. So fast forward a few more years, I didn't really do much with the business for about 4 or 5 years. A few years later, a company I was with for 20 years let me go out of the blue. I was their top producer, number 1 salesman in New York, New Jersey for 20 years. Thanked them for their time, their employment, walked out the door and called my friend Beth. First person I called. And that's what I'm saying. If your life is a story, and we all have the ability to write our own stories and our own journeys. I realized this a couple years ago. When I was a little boy, I was 7, 8, 9 years old. I really, really wanted to be an entertainer. I didn't know acting, singing, dancing. I used to do it all when I was young. But, 40 some odd years ago, and Shelly, you'll relate to this, you mentioned it earlier. Your parents said, that's great, kid. You have fun with that. But guess what? You're going to go to school, you're going to get a job, and you're going to provide for a family or a wife and children, whatever it might be. And I realized a few years ago, right then and there, I was letting somebody else write my story. And for all those years, up until my late 40s, I was letting other people write my story. The beauty of this company and this business is that you have the ability every single day to write your own story and not let other people dictate the outcome of your life. That's really what this business is about. Yes, we are out there helping people. We are out there inspiring other people. We want to see other people, become healthier, gain more financial and time freedom. All of those things are great. But this truly allows you to write your own story. What has it done for us? It's done so much for us. First of all, just the community of people in itself, to me, is worth the time investment. Exactly, Erin. Group hug, right? Erin's in Seattle. I'm in New Jersey. Shelly's in New York. Brandon, you're in what, Michigan or Maine, somewhere, Connecticut. I'm not sure, but Dan's out in Long Island. But Shelly's, yeah. So, just the community alone is worth the investment. And, it's allowed us to, like I said, send my son's in Pennsylvania ballet for 6 weeks for the summer. It's not inexpensive. My daughter goes to sleepaway camp for a month. It's not inexpensive. I just sent my daughter back to Florida. She took the auto train from Virginia, but she had car trouble. Things like that. This business allows us to take care of stuff like that and just not even think about it. So that's really what it's done for us. Before I close out, I want to say, I said this earlier, your life is a novel, it's a journey, it's a story. Think of each decade in your life as a chapter. And each year is a page in that chapter. And every month is a paragraph on that page. And each day, you have the ability to write a line or a phrase or a word on that page, which is going to formulate you a story. Think of words like grateful, perseverance, being humble, positive, resilient. Be the solution for yourself, your family, but more so, be the solution for somebody else. Go out there and impact somebody else's life. Because I'll tell you, when you do, it comes back to you tenfold. And a big part of that coming back to you is you feel good about it. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We certainly do appreciate you all very, very much for taking the time and spending a little bit of your evening with us. And, if this mission sounds like something that you would like to get involved in, please get back with the person that invited you. And hey, listen, if it's not for you, that's totally cool. We really appreciate you being here. But if you know somebody that you think some of this might resonate with, please introduce that person to the person that invited you tonight. Erin, I want to thank you for inviting me and allowing me to close out tonight. I want to thank you for your story, Shelly and Shelby, for your stories, and everybody else for being on tonight. I appreciate you all so very much. Have a good night.
You guys.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.